She waits in the bruise-colored corner, eyes melting slower than the hour hand. Cherry ember, breathing in the dark. Cigarette smoke curls like old film burning up through the tired bar light. Every loop, a smaller circle, a smaller sky. Cigarettes in slow motion, time leaking from the glass. Lipstick red, smudged on the rim like a promise that never left town. Rain whispers on the windows, counting down the distance between seconds. She is here and not here, a shadow holding still while the night forgets her name. Lipstick stain, a crooked crescent pressed against clear crystal, the print of a kiss aimed at no one. Her hand rests on the leather bag, too heavy for lipstick and keys, metal sleeping cold against her palm. The band on the radio is 3 streets away, muted trumpet in the walls, breathy and broken, as if the building itself remembers being young. Cigarettes in slow motion, ash drifting through the years. Each gray flake, a tiny surrender, falling where the light gives up. Rain keeps time on the rooftop, soft, insistent, beating on the ceiling of her thoughts. She is here and not here, a question mark in heels, pause between arrival and escape. Somewhere a clock coughs, then thinks better of it. Somewhere chairs are stacked into crooked monuments to all the nights that never quite happened. Her reflection warps in the bottom of the glass, eyes doubled, mouth delayed, like the world is a bad transmission. Fading in, fading out, fading. Cigarettes in slow motion, breath drawn, never exhaled. The room holds it for her like a secret, like a crime. Rain traces veins down the pane, city pulsing far beyond the fogged up frame. She is here and not here, a soft-spoken danger, learning how to vanish 1 second at a time. She sits in the corner that forgets its own name. Rain tapping the windows like fingers on a locked door. Cigarette smoke curls up slow, praying to a burnt out ceiling. Lipstick red, left open on the table, a small wound waiting to speak. This is cigarette time, where every second burns too slow. Ash drifting like old apologies. Glass sweating under lazy light, her mouth a faded echo on the rim. A lipstick moon orbiting cheap gin. Somewhere a clock moves, but the hands drag their feet around the same hour again. Her dress, dark as wet pavement, clings to secrets that learn to breathe underwater. In her purse, cold metal patience, a little storm sleeping under leather. She counts the bottles on the shelf, the chip labels, the missing years, all in a crooked row. This is cigarette time, where the night won't end or start. Smoke writing soft graffiti on the dark. Lipstick stain like a promise half erased. A mouth that said yes and then vanished. The room moves slow, frames skipping in her head. Every laugh in the distance, already dead. Outside, tires sigh through puddles. Street lamps drip onto the wet, uneven world. Inside, a saxophone shivers, leaning into her silence like someone about to ask a question. She doesn't answer, she just watches the air carry her exhale to nowhere in particular. This is cigarette time, where minutes lean against the wall. Eyes half closed, waiting to be told to leave. Glass to her lips, she kisses her own ghost. A red ring around absence. Somewhere a gun lies still, counting the beats between thoughts. Each click of the mind, a loaded lullaby. She finishes the drink, not the night. Sets the filter in the ashtray like a tiny gravestone. Rain whispers harder under the door, under the skin, and the bar light flickers but does not change. She stays, statue of a story. No one here is brave enough to read. Smoke climbs in crooked cursive up through the yellowed light. Ice eyes in a glass, lonely little avalanche melting in slow motion. She sits in the corner, back to the mirror, face to the door. Lipstick bruise on the rim of her drink, same color as the scar on her wrist. Cigarette ember, a small red planet spinning in her tight hand. Time crawls down the wall clock like a fly with broken wings. She's a glass ghost at the end of the bar, breathing fog into the dark. Every drag a tiny funeral, every sip a tiny lie. Hours fold like stained napkins, stacked beside her empty smile. Rain writes her name on the window, spells it wrong every time. Under the table, metal sleeps, cold against her ankle. The weight of it keeps her from floating, keeps her from falling too. She watches strangers talking silent movies, lips moving, sound erased. A lemon peel twists like a question mark, no answer in the bottom. She's a glass ghost at the end of the bar, fading with each refill. Every drag a slow confession, every sip a missing word. Minutes smear like mascara in the mirror, running toward the drain. Rain taps lightly on the rooftop, counting what she'll never say. Thunder, now she's sealing smoke. Once she was summer, now she's coat check dust. Her heart a lock booth, red vinyl cracked, coin slot jam. Somewhere in her purse a folded photograph turning sepia in the dark. She's a glass ghost at the end of the bar, chained to an empty stool. Every drag a borrowed heartbeat, every sip a backward clock. Night stretches thin like cheap silk, about to tear. Rain keeps talking to the neon, she pretends it's meant for her. A tiny snowfall on the wet lip of the ashtray. She leaves the gun sleeping, leaves the glass bleeding red, leaves her shadow on the chair. The door opens, lets in the rain, lets her vanish with the smoke. of a bar that forgets the hour. Rain fingers the window, slow tap, soft insistence, like someone changing their mind. Cigarette smoke curling in the tired light, spiraling up, then vanishing halfway, like a promise she almost believed. Her reflection broken in the bottles, eyes blurred by amber and old fluorescent ghosts. A lipstick stain dark on a clear glass, the print of her mouth still waiting for an answer. Time moves sideways in here. It never hurries, just leans against the wall, counting the cracks. Ice melts slow into the tired gin, small white moons drowning in their orbit. She breathes in someone else's laughter, exhales nobody's name. This is how hours die, silent and a little beautiful. The band in the corner plays a song she has never heard, but somehow remembers. Tina sighs through someone else's sorrow, a low animal circle in the room. Trumpet murmurs into her wrist, a secret apology for every almost touch. Her hand rests on the leather of her bag, knuckles pale, very still, the hidden weight inside, a quiet opinion on how stories end. Ash trembles at the edge of her cigarette, refusing to fall out of sheer stubbornness. Time moves sideways in here, it never answers, just watches her profile softly erode. The clock above the door ticks in another language, each second a small bright bruise. She sips at the fading sweetness, tastes the metal of memory near the rim. This is how nights collapse, folding into the size of a glass. Outside rain rehearses the same line over and over on the black pavement. Inside she counts the drips between the distant thunder, measures her pulse against the hush. Somewhere a chair scrapes, a match flares, a door thinks about closing. Her thumb circles the zipper once, twice, 3 times, then lets it sleep. Time moves sideways in here, it never leaves, just drifts from table to table, trying on faces. Smoke threads its soft gray handwriting round her hair, spells nothing she can read. The lipstick stain darken on the glass, outlives the drink, outlives the hour. This is how she disappears, slowly, so slowly. No one sees. sees it happen. Her elbow on chipped mahogany, eyes sighing in a tilted glass, cigarette smoke curling up to some forgotten ceiling. Lipstick, a wounded red half-moon, dragged along the rim like a promise she already broke. Rain taps the window, tiny hands on thick old glass, counting seconds, slower than her breath. Somewhere inside the purse at her side, cold weight pressing on torn receipts and an unused key. She waits and the room decays, sip by sip, minute by minute. The clock above the bottles melts into a dull golden blur. She waits and the world turns far from this barstool island, where lipstick on metal toe share the same stale air. She waits and nothing answers, just rain in the gutters, just ice in the glass, just smoke riding circles that never learn to close. The bartender polishes the same clear square of emptiness over and over, as if he could rub the night away. Her reflection in the back bar mirror, split by a dark glass bottle, half her face already gone. A match flares, brief cruel sunrise on her cheekbones, her wrist, the small silver clasp she never touches. Ash loosens, falls in slow motion, a gray feather, searching for any place to land. She waits and the room decays, sip by sip, minute by minute. The clock above the bottles melts into a dull golden blur. She waits and the world turns far from this barstool island, where lipstick on metal tone share the same stale air. She waits and nothing answers, just rain in the gutters, just ice in the glass, just smoke right in circles that never learn to close. Outside, headlights pass like brief ideas, never quite forming a plan. Inside, her thumb traces the condensation, thin trembling rivers erasing her own name before she can finish it. The hidden metal at her hip, a distant star, dragging its own orbit around the hollow of her ribs. In another town, someone laughs, drops a coin in a jukebox, chooses a song she will never hear. She waits and the room decays, sip by sip, minute by minute. The clock above the bottles melts into a dull golden blur. share the same stale air. She waits and nothing answers, just rain in the gutters, just ice in the glass, just smoke riding circles that never learn to close. She waits. She waits. She waits. Rain on the windows, rain in the walls, a slow clock licking the edges of night. She sits alone, not lonely, ankle crossed over danger, shadow folded under her chair. Cigarette ash, a crumbling constellation, smoke curling upward to crown a naked bowl. Her lipstick, a bruised red crescent, holding the rim of a glass like a quiet accusation. Glass ashes, glass hours, she drinks the distance between one heartbeat and the next. Glass ashes, glass mirrors, every sip another version of herself dissolving. She does not move, but the room grows older, table by table, breath by breath. Outside, tires whisper on wet pavement, headlights smear into rivers, sliding down the barroom mirror. Inside, the piano sleeps shut, only the brushes sweeping dust from the silence. Her eyes, two unread letters, stamped, addressed, never sent. Her purse, cold metal patience, nested beneath powder and a folded photograph. Glass ashes, glass hours, she tastes the years on the rim of that glass. Glass echoes, names she forgot, still floating in the ice. She does not speak, but the air remembers every promise that died in this smoke. Sideways here, spills then gathers, a slow tide around the legs of her chair. Rain climbs the roof, in small metallic footsteps, looking for a way in, finding only her heartbeat. The trumpet sighs like a tired confession. The saxophone lingers where her perfume used to be. Glass ashes, glass hours, the world keeps turning just out of frame. Glass ashes, glass shadows, she is the question no one dares to ask. She does not stay, she does not leave. She only watches the night forget her name. She waits inside the yellow tower, cigarette ember thinking itself into ash. Smoke climbs slow staircase of light, curling around the ceiling fan like it remembers every face. Glass sweating, ice turning thin, a red lip print holding its ground on the rim. The clock in the corner forgets to tick, then remembers too loudly. This is cigarette time where minutes burn, quiet, crooked, and the room leans in to listen. This is cigarette time where no one leaves, they just fade, soft at the edges like rain on tape. Her dress black as a closed piano, strap slipping like an unfinished thought. She stares through the mirror, but only finds glass. 100 ghosts of herself, all older than the last. In her bag, velvet wrapped iron, small obedient weight, dragging the night off center. The bartender polishes the same clean glass, wiping away nothing, nothing changes. This is cigarette time where minutes burn, quiet, crooked, and the room leans in to listen. This is cigarette time, no one leaves, they just fade, soft at the edges like rain on tape. Outside, rain arranges the dark into slow vertical lines, writing the same sentence down the window. Over and over, over and over. Inside her pulse counts in single distant car passing, then gone. She lifts the drink to her mouth, not her lips, watching the stain wait patient as a closed door. This is cigarette time where minutes burn, quiet, crooked, and the room leans in to listen. This is cigarette time where no one leaves, they just fade, soft at the edges like rain on tape. Last grain of night, smoke rising, thinning, losing its name. She checks the weight inside her purse, then lets the zipper close like a slow eyelid. Somewhere a watch starts over, but here, second hand, heavy, refuses to move. Ice clinks once, then forgets to move. Cigarette ash leans over the edge, listening. She sits at the far end of a bar that never learned how to close its eyes. Smoke curls like slow handwriting, spelling nothing over and over. A red mouth pressed to glass leaves a crescent print, a tired moon going backward. Time drips off the rim, thick as syrup, too sweet to swallow. She is the slow burn at the end of the bar, a question mark shadow folded into velvet. Every minute arrives late, out of breath, hangs its coat on the same sharp memory. She is the slow burn nobody names, just watches from the corner of their drink. Rain fingers the cracked window, keeps the tempo of someone pacing upstairs. Her heels rest on a metal rung, two black commas holding back a sentence. Inside her purse, something heavy and patient, a small sleeping verdict, tasting of oil and metal. The clock above the bottles moves its hands carefully, so it never has to look at what they're pointing to. She is the slow burn at the end of the bar, a quiet siren wrapped in cheap perfume. Every second peels off translucent, sticks to her skin like forgotten names. She is the slow burn, nobody stops, just circles like moths that remember fire. softly, almost polite. Outside, the rain writes her story on the sidewalk, then blurs every word. She is the slow burn at the end of the bar, a slow eclipse in a rented dress. Every hour leans on her shoulder, asked to stay just a little longer. She is the slow burn, and the room forgets there was a time before she sat down here. Lipstick fades on the rim of an empty glass. The gun keeps her secret. The night pretends not to know her name. Smoke curls like it's counting the seconds between her blinks and the next bad idea. Rain at the windows, the soft hiss of old tape, neon bleeding through the blinds into her half-empty glass. Lipstick scar on the rim, same color as the bruise she forgot to cover. Her purse too heavy for perfume, resting against her thigh like a secret she won't forgive. She waits for nothing in particular, just the clock to lose its place on the wall. Ash after ash falling out of her fingers, measuring a life in slow gray snowfall. Femme fatale to no one in this room, just a shadow in the corner, finishing someone else's drink. She waits for the world to look away, so time can finally slip past her. Saxophone breath drags a low, tired question over the rim of the night and leaves it unanswered. Trumpet sighs back a muted apology for everything that almost happened and then didn't. The bartender polishes the same clean glass like he's erasing fingerprints from a story he never heard. Her hand inside her bag, tracing the cold outline of a promise made in metal and oil. She waits for nothing in particular, just the clock to lose its place on the wall. Ash after ash falling out of her fingers, measuring a life in slow gray snowfall. Femme fatale to no one in this room, just a shadow in the corner, finishing someone else's shriek. She waits for the world to look away, so time can finally slip past her. Outside, the rain keeps practicing syllable on the pavement. Inside, the radio hums a tune from a year she never lived in, but almost remembers. Her reflection in the back bar mirror arrives half a second late, older and already leaving. She laughs once, a dry spark in the murk, and even that sounds like yesterday. She waits for nothing in particular, just the clock to lose its place on the wall. Ash after ash falling out of her fingers, measuring a life in slow gray snowfall. Femme fatale to no one in this room, just a shadow in the corner, finishing someone else's drink. She waits for the world to look away, so time can finally slip past her. Rain tapping like a tired drummer on the cracked neon window that never looks away. She sits back to the door, one heel hooked on the bar stool, rum coat draped over secrets. Cigarette ember, a small red planet spinning slow between her fingers. Smoke climbs in loose gray spirals, caught in the lamplight, then gone like a name you forget on purpose. Ash in the hourglass, falling in slow motion. She counts each grain with an absent thumb. Lipstick bleeding on the rim of a glass, the print of a kiss that never landed. Time here does not pass, it clings, it congeals, it hums in the walls. She keeps breathing, she keeps breathing. Ice melts but never seems to move, just dulls in a cloudy marbles. Her drink, the color of old photographs, stares back unblinking in her purse. Something heavy pressing into leather like a last resort that has learned patience. She taps one nail against the table's burn mark, a tiny signal to no one listening. The band in the corner shadows with instruments, eyes closed, lost in a slow storm. Ash in the hourglass, falling in slow motion. She mouths the numbers but they make no sound. Lipstick bruised on the rim of a glass, a crooked halo around what's left. Time here does not pass, it pulls, it thickens, it leans on her shoulder. She leans back, she leans back. Outside, headlights smear into comets on the wet black street. inside. The air tastes of rain and regret mixed in the same low glass. Her reflection wavers in the back bar mirror, split by bottles fractured into strangers. Hand in the purse, brushes cold metal, then drifts away, a tide recoiling from its own shore. Ash in the hourglass, falling in slow motion, each fleck a memory she decided not to keep. Lipstick ghost on the rim of a glass, a red crescent moon over dark water. Time here does not pass, it circles, it circles, it circles the drain, and she stays seated. Last drag, filter soft between her teeth, smoke ribbon drawn thin over the dim room. She leaves the gun where it always was, sleeping in the dark of her bag. She leaves the glass half finished, lipstick fading to a rusted ring. The door sighs, lets in the rain, lets out her silence. At the bar only ash remains, gathering slowly in an unattended hourglass. Red exit sign trembles in the blaze, cigarette ember, the only small sun in the room. She sits where the shadows lean the hardest, one heel hooked on the bar stool, run like it might run. Lipstick moves on the rim of an empty glass, a slow red orbit around nothing at all. Smoke curls upward, finds the thin light, twists, changes its mind, mitre. Her eyes track a drip of rain down the window, as if it were a second hand of a broken clock. She is the last call for ghosts, half smile, half warning, a question in a dark booth. No one answers. out the weather, along with her reflection and a name she never speaks. Muted laughter from a table in the distance, arrives late, already tired. The bartender tries the same square of wood over and over, chasing an old stain. In her bag, metal sleeps, wrapped in a handkerchief like an heirloom or a lie. She counts the clicks of the neon flicker. 1, 2, skip. 1, 2, skip. Above her wrist, a faint white line disappears under the smooth rise of her sleeve. She is the last call for ghosts. Her perfume outlives her footsteps, soft as dust on velvet, sharp as a whispered secret. Time pools in ashtrays, gathers in the grooves of the bar, thick, like it could drown. She is the last call for ghost breathing in the blue haze. Breathing out years she never meant to keep. Rain leans harder against the glass. Outside is a story she declined to read. Eyes clinked once, a tiny bell for the departed, then melts into something indistinct. Somewhere corridors pieces, like the last match in a damp book. Cigarette ember, a small red eye blinking through the smoke. Rain taps the windows, counting what the clock forgot. Her glass half finished, wears a lipstick like a quiet bruise. Time moves sideways here, slow as ash falling through the You wait for something, for someone, for the next door to mean more than the rest. But it's only you and the rain and the gun no one sees. A saxophone sighs from the corner, almost a question. She answers it with the tilt of her wrist, ice chiming against the Her shadow leans longer than her body across the cracked tiles, reaching for a door that never opens. Under her cold metal, cool as distant stars, is her ribs, reminding her she exists. Time moves sideways here, slow as ash falling through the something, for someone, for the next track to me more than the last. But it's only you and the rain and the gun no one sees. Smoke curls upward, writing messages she will not read. Names she has worn like borrowed perfume. Faces half remembered like songs cut short by closing time. Outside the night peels back in which to took me on. But inside the seconds drip from her fingers, she lets them fall. swallow sound, eyes clinking once, then never again. Cigarette ember, a tiny red planet orbiting her fingers, slow obedient. Smoke curls upward, then changes its mind. Spills sideways into the tired light. Lipstick grooves, bleeding on the rim of her glass. A soft red echo of a mouth that forgot how to laugh. In her purse, metal patience, cold and exact, pressed against an old receipt. Time moves like smoke, it rises, hesitates, and disappears into the ceiling. She counts the seconds in drips from the roof, in the way the bartender blinks, too slow, too late. Glass ashes, ghosts on her tongue, every swallow a little surrender, every breath a borrowed hour. The clock above the bottles lost its minute hand. Sometime last winter, no one bothered to ask why. Neon letters flicker, stutter in the spilled gin, making tiny storms of red across her wrist. Her eyes, two closed doors with music leaking under them. Muted trumpet in the hallway. The gun waits like an unfinished sentence, tucked in velvet darkness, listening to her pulse. Time moves like smoke, it rises, hesitates, and disappears into the ceiling. She tastes the years in watered down spirits, in ice half melted before the story begins. Glass ashes line up in a circle, lipstick ghosts kissing glass, then vanishing unnamed. Outside, rain rehearses the same soft fall over and over, never learning the end. Inside, she is an island of stillness, surrounded by slow conversations she does not hear. Somewhere a saxophone leans on one long note, a quiet blade pressed flat against the air. Time moves like smoke, it rises, hesitates, and disappears into the ceiling. She is the pause between the trigger and the sound, between the match and the flame, between the question and the leaving. Glass ashes, thin rings of her presence when she finally stands, only the stain on the glass remains.